Good morning, TikTok. All right, something a bit different today. Customer that found us through TikTok, actually George, absolute legend, massive shout out, has dropped off a, what is it? It is a Razor. So this is basically a control, a Bluetooth or wireless control for a truck. And what has happened here is it has got a split in the casing just there, and we've ended up with a whole heap of corrosion in here, so it's going to be hard to sort of show this, but I've cleaned off this board as much as I sort of can already. This was all covered in corrosion and it was absolutely melted, so all these pins are busted. We're going to see if I can get a number on this chip, and I might actually just remove it and see what the pads look like underneath, as to whether we can, you know, safely replace this. And we're also going to look and see what we've got here. There's a couple of capacitors and a resistor that are nuked as well, so I think this might be a little bit far gone. We'll see if I can sort of show you under the microscope what this looks like a bit better, but it may be a little bit far gone just based on, where are we? Just based on that damage there to those legs, but it's worth a shot. Now these are stupid expensive to buy brand new. Apparently the company won't help out at all. This is only a year old and it's over $1,000 to buy. It has to come with new remotes, so we're going to see if we can clean this up anyway and maybe swap some chips over and see what happens. All right, so as you can see, the glare's terrible on this. I've cleaned up all those pads. I've tried to clean where this chip is burnt as well, and unfortunately this looks like one that once we've cleaned it off, it's not looking any better. Occasionally we can clean stuff off and it looks a lot better, and it's going to be repairable. As you can see, all the actual traces on that board are pulled up and burnt off, and they've completely melted together in the bottom corner of that chip where the water got in. So I'm not too worried about the resistors and that underneath, that they could have been repaired, but this is going to be too far gone with all these legs gone. So from there, unfortunately, this is going to need to be replaced. If we could get another one, a junk one, a donor one, we could try and chip swap it, but I don't think that is going to work. I think in this case, unfortunately, this is too far gone. So anyone with one of these Razor units, be very careful. I would be putting them, and I'm going to say to George when he comes back to grab this one and gets another one, I would do, you know, as best possible to keep it out of the way of water, because obviously this seal doesn't work. The plastic is really cheap and it just cracks, and yeah, you end up with this, you know, $1,000. It's only a year and a bit old, I think, so that really sucks. And unfortunately this one's too far gone to repair, and I'm going to put that down just to the traces being ripped up there, and completely melted together. Like, that's actually melted right into the board. So yeah, something to look out for. Any guys with trucks, tippers and stuff like that use these units, make sure they stay out of the way of water, because they are not water resistant at all. All right, so back on our burnt out module. Module's no go, she's not getting fixed, but out of interest, I did actually was able to sort of extract the chip number, which is an A3941KLPT. Now that is we've got a PDF document here, which is basically our data sheet for that chip. It's a 28 pin and it's a DC motor driver chip, so it's basically a full bridge MOSFET driver, and as you can see here, it's actually based around automotive applications. It's designed to control DC motors, so it's basically your load controller. Similar idea to a relay, I guess. It controls the high current side of it. As you can see here, we can see what battery voltages it works with, about the capacitor in it, etc. So that's a schematic for the chip, and yeah, there's a fair bit of info on it. You can see all our supply voltages, pin voltages, temperature ranges, etc. So if anyone's interested, that's all the information that you would ever need on a, what is it? It's an A3941KLPT full bridge MOSFET driver. So the chips are available, and if that damage wasn't so bad and those pins weren't melted together, we would be able to buy one and swap her out and hopefully get it sorted, but she's a bit too far gone, unfortunately.